Look at that thing. Okay, let's see. This is the world's tiniest quadcopter with the highest yaw rate. I'm sure that FY804 can claim that. Good afternoon, Quadcopter 101 here. And what I got for you today is a review of the new Fayee FY804, or actually Ultra Nano Quadcopter, or Pico Quadcopter, I don't know what you would call it. This is another contender for world's smallest quadcopter. This one here is tinier than a CX-10. I'd say about 2/3 the size of a CX-10, and also it comes with its own controller and carrying case. It serves as a carrying case at the same time. There are a couple others out there that are very similar to this that are also going for this size of a quadcopter. So again, this is Fayee's version of the world's smallest quadcopter. Let's open it up and take a look at this quadcopter. Opening its little jewel case, carrying case. This would be a nice little take to school quadcopter. I just thought about that. But on the front of it, it has, what is written on there, folks? Navigator. There it is. There are two different versions of the Navigator. This little micro nano, and there's also hexacopter versions of the Navigators out there. I'm not a real big fan of hexacopters because, you know, it's more things that can possibly break. You know, two more motors, two more propellers that you got to worry about. Hexacopters, I think, is optimum. But looking at this little nano hexacopter, ultra nano hexacopter, we have an on-off switch. We have a charging port here where you attach your charger, and inside you have an ultra micro battery, lipo battery that is internal to the quadcopter. It cannot be replaced. That means when you do a flight, if you're out in the field, you have to take it home again and charge it before your next flight. It cannot be recharged in the field. This carrying case does not have a charging capability, say like the FQ77124, which has a built-in charger. This does not have it. But this quadcopter does have headless mode, which you activate by pushing up on what would be normally the throttle trim button. It also you can change rates from beginner, intermediate to expert by pressing this upper left trigger button, and you can activate flips by pressing the upper right trigger button and then telling it which direction to flip. I'm not sure if it has one key return. I did not see that mentioned in the directions for this quadcopter. We'll try to find out today. I'll press both of these buttons up and down to see if one of them just might be one key return. But let's go for a flight of the Fayee FY804 Navigator and see how it flies. We'll go over this flat level surface here. Turn on the quadcopter. I'm not sure which direction is front and which is back. I'm going to assume the blue is the front. We'll find out here shortly. And turning on the transmitter, binding it. It is so tiny, folks, it is hard to see even this close. Going to expert rate or intermediate rate. Let's take it out in the field, folks. The problem with this, back to beginner. It has beginner and expert. That expert rate is a little bit too fast. Well, the pitch is good, but the yaw rate is not very controllable. Back to beginner. I'm trying to fight the wind with it. Doesn't seem to like the wind very much. But there's the yaw rate on this thing, and look at that, holy moly. Back to beginner. Going to expert just to fight the wind. Going to beginner so I can turn it. I'm trying to keep up with it. The wind's blowing it away. Okay, it's picked up a drift. I'm going to land it. Going back to beginner. We'll let it sit for a second. It picks up a wind drift. Let's see if that wind drift has gone away from that second it was on the ground. Oop. Does that mean it's got to be rebound? If you land? Yes, it does mean you got to be rebound. Okay, well, let's rebind it. Turning off the transmitter. And we're going to try the headless mode this time. Transmitter, or the quadcopter's on. Transmitter's off. Transmitter's back on. Binding it. This time I want to try headless mode. Okay, that's the direction it understands is headless mode direction. Pushing forward, pulling back, and I got yaw on it, folks. Let's go to expert rate. This one you want to fly in headless mode probably. Look at that. Look at that extreme yaw rate. To control this thing, you want to stay in headless mode probably. Okay, now it thinks that way's forward, and this way is right, so I'm going to reorient myself. I meant. Ready? Let's go back to expert. Look at that thing. Okay, let's see. This is the world's tiniest quadcopter with the highest yaw rate. I'm sure that FY804 can claim that. Okay, which way does it think forward is now? It thinks that way's forward now. Does this have one key return? Okay, I got a little more flight time out of it. Apparently, if you let it sit for a second, especially if you were overheating the motors, you can get a little more flight time out of it. I am in headless mode right now. And I'm going to use headless mode to control this quadcopter. Because I am going to need a higher rate. I thought that was the end of the flight time, but it's not. I got more flight time. Apparently it didn't like that high-speed turning. Let me see if I can reset the headless mode direction. Turning off headless mode, turning back on. Where are you going? Well, it has pretty good range. I had to turn off the motor there. Yeah, it's darn good range actually. That was about 30 meters, 40 meters for this tiny little thing. I'm just trying to use the headless mode direction, and I'm not sure it knows which direction the headless mode direction was set. I'm not sure I do either. Let's put it on the ground again. Let's see if I can rebind it. Turning the transmitter back on. Oh yeah, got more. Which direction is headless mode this time? Okay, it thinks that way's the headless mode direction. So, if I tried the flips, there's the flips. There's the flips. Oh, I can't do too many flips. It doesn't like that. I use its power. Okay, I'm in high rate now. Again, if you want to fly this thing in high rate, I recommend using headless mode. Headless mode makes flying this thing very easy. As you can see right now. Oh, I can still flip. Still has power to flip. Yeah, because of that extreme yaw, if you want to fly it outdoors with a little bit of a wind, you're going to need to use the headless mode. And there it goes. That's the end of the power. There ain't no more now. But it was a relatively short flight time, but keep in mind I had it in high yaw rate there, showing what it could do. Let me say that if you want to fly this quadcopter, because of its size, and you want to fly it outdoors, you are probably going to want to put it in headless mode. If there's any breeze at all, you have to go to a higher rate, and its yaw rate is so fast it's not controllable. But if you have it in headless mode and you put it at a high rate, you can control it, just using the pitch and roll, and then you don't have to worry about that yaw, which direction the quadcopter is pointed, and you can maintain control. So, again, this is the Fayee FY804, neat little nano quadcopter. Kind of enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101.